Okay. Gregbot is
Hello,
recording. Yep, Nate, go ahead and start us in.
hello YouTube, hello Odyssey, and hello all pebbles. This is what I actually wanted to green, like a special little order. But yeah. Welcome to the It Is Podcast episode 40
Yep.
with the lost and found footage.
Yep.
So
Oh,
we are back at number 40.
yep. Um, anyways, let me show what's for lunch today. What is for lunch today? As I just posted it. It is a chicken salad with a sort of soy scallion Worcester dressing. Hmm?
Hmm.
Worcester. I can't say it. I can't say it for the life of me.
It's fine. I'm just looking at it, and the salad portion seems to be in the minority there.
I like my salad with a lot of protein.
Yeah, but oh well. Hmm.
Um, so, um, I guess also, good. Some good news is that these luncheons are actually getting a little bit of traction on Rumble, more so than YouTube.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So I'll
yeah.
I'll make sure to greet Rumble as well now that we get we get a bigger audience here. So hi Rumble.
Well, I think what's happening is that YouTube typically restricts stuff that's tagged with podcasts because, they're
Hmm?
controlled by Google, and Google is this gigantic eldritch monster of a corporation that just wants to control everything.
They
So,
don't like, but I thought that like the podcast scene was big on YouTube.
it's also, yeah, not very big on YouTube. Mostly people, put their clips on YouTube, you know.
What? That's weird.
Well, again, it's because, you know,
No, but again, I thought that it was like huge and like because everyone is fucking doing a podcast.
I mean, it kind of is, but at the same time, it kind of isn't. So, like,
Okay.
most people record their podcasts and post the audio to Spotify and everything, and then
Ew.
they can post the full clips to YouTube and everything, or the full podcast and then notable clips from the podcast on YouTube. Because whether Google likes it or not, YouTube still functions like YouTube. People look for specific content. They're not just browsing the whole time, like with Twitch,
Uh-huh.
you browse for people who play a game that you're interested in right now. And with TikTok, you just kind of scroll until you find
Scroll,
funny
scroll,
shit.
and scroll.
Huh?
Yeah, and TikTok it's just an endless scrolling.
Yeah, it's just endless scrolling, you just scroll through and find funny shit, you know?
Or disturbing shit.
Yeah,
Or just like yeah.
any number of things. But with
TikTok.
YouTube has always functioned the same um since its inception. Granted, yeah, at first there was a little bit of browsing because it was a new site. You didn't know what to expect, and so that's where all those, viral stars like Afro Ninja and the Duck Song came from. When it first
Ah,
came
the
out.
lemonade stand.
What'd you say?
The lemonade stand.
Yeah, again, it's called the Duck Song.
I know.
But when it first came out, you just did not know what to expect, and so yeah, a lot of shit went viral. But then after Google took control, that became more controlled and tightly regulated. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's frustrating, but that's the way it is. But it ended up to where people are looking for specific things on YouTube. You know, so
Yeah.
typically when podcasters clip certain clips, they're trying to clip it in such a way that it meets search terms and everything. You know what I mean?
Uh, yeah.
But anyways, enough jabbering about that. We should get into the topic. um,
Mm-hmm.
the topic, I believe, was different kinds of fears. Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, types, kinds. It's the one and the same, I guess.
Yeah, and
Because
more.
yeah, like few previous episodes that are safe are not safe. I don't know,
Mhm,
but we discussed like just phobias and what kinds of different phobias the members had
mhm.
of the podcast. And yeah, but like phobia isn't the only type of fear.
Right. You can have a
Sorry.
fear of something, or you know, of someone, or an event that could happen. You know, or a general fear about something. Like, again, I'm fearful of you know of death itself. I'm fearful of when the end comes. You know, I honestly just don't know what to expect. You know, is it just going to be nothingness, and where does my consciousness go? Where do I go? You know, that's my main fear. So this is why, despite him being a complete bastard, Odin from God of War Ragnarok is a somewhat relatable villain. His main question is, where do I go when I go? You know? And in the God of War universe, mortals have an answer to that question. There's afterlives there. He doesn't. Um, in many respects, because we don't know what afterlife there is after death. We don't have the answer to that question. You know?
You mean in the games or here?
Well, here, both in the game for Odin and for us as well, um, we don't have the answer to that question. Yeah, in God of War Ragnarok, gods don't have the answer to the question where they go.
Yeah.
Us here in real life, we also don't have a definitive answer to that question. We
Mm,
have guesses
that is
based
funny.
on assessment and religion.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to point that out. Like if you follow a religion, if you follow a religion that has an afterlife, that's your answer.
Yeah.
That's just like that's what you believe, and that's what most likely will happen to you.
I,
Maybe.
I mean,
Don't have that theory proven because I
right.
haven't died yet.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
one can hope if you just have enough faith, you end up where you're hoping to end up, you know?
Mm,
But at the end of the day, it's still just a hope.
yeah.
It's still, yes, am I going to meet St. Peter at the pearly gates? Kind of thing. Am I going
Yeah.
to have to account for any sins I have committed in life? You know? What is that going to look like?
Yeah.
You know? For Egyptians, they created a very fearful afterlife. They created gods that cut your hearts out and weigh them on scales before you.
Uh, wait. Is the was the process described as painful?
I imagine having your heart cut out and having it placed on a scale is probably pretty painful.
But like, I mean, well, like, unless they said it is, like, you have like this.
I couldn't hear you. What?
I don't know. But yeah, like, again, I don't know if like, if the Egyptians like, actually like, stated that's painful or like, wrote it down like, yes, when Anubis takes your heart out, it hurts or not. It's just like,
I
like reach
I mean,
in way and like, yeah.
I imagine the whole idea is that it's supposed to be painful, but I
Eh.
guess the idea is that if you were a bad person, it's even more painful. If you're a good person, then maybe it's not as painful. I guess.
Wait. Uh, uh,
Are you looking it up?
mm-hmm. Uh, okay. Mm, 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 mm. Just a minute. Nope.
But on top of that, again, there's other fears you can have. Fears over the future. You know, in our current world, we're constantly worried about,
Oh, yeah.
are we going to be plunged into a dystopia very soon?
Yeah, and it's like it's sort of like a constant fear, sort of like like if you start like thinking about it and just like it resurfaces so easily.
Right.
Again, you're just reminded, yeah, the world and in its like political sense and everything, like it's really shaky and
Yeah.
like yeah, it's just like
And we
yeah,
really
so
just don't know what the
this is
future is
happening.
going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
We can't map it out accurately because, on top of this, no one is being honest.
Except me.
Well, that's what everyone says. No one's being honest except for me. I'm the one telling you the truth.
But I am really. I follow the the Apple Horse protocol. Bleh.
What I mean is, like, politicians. They're the ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
say
I know.
we're the ones telling the truth. They're the liars. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's how it always goes. And
I
it's
know.
like, I mean, given the track record of both of you, you both seem like liars.
Yeah. And I think this is like sort of like the sort of like looming fear that kind of like everybody has because like and it's like but because and I also like one of the like universal fears is like and it actually well maybe it's a subtype because like fear of the unknown
Mhm,
because obviously and that also ties to like well okay I'm not saying that everyone has nyctophobia
mhm,
but again like you you can see what's in the dark unless you have some fucking uh overdeveloped eyes and you have actual night vision.
right.
So yeah, and you just your body just instinctively gets ready, or at least mine does. I mean, if like someone was like I'm ready to punch like and claw and like whenever there's like a dark alley that I have to like go through or something.
Right. I mean, yeah, that is the main reason why I am fearful of the dark is because I don't know what's in the dark. You know, Lady
Mm-hmm.
Stone says there's all these horrid things that can surround us, and I can't see them in the light, let alone the darkness. But you know, back in our old place, I felt sometimes there were eyes on me when I was in the dark. And so I'm like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what the hell is in the darkness?
Yeah.
You know?
And just like I think like it's like actually if I were to like compare like my like I guess fear of dark to my paraphobia,
Mhm,
the like the gripping anxiety that's like associated with phobias, it's not there. It's
mhm.
just like, hey, there could be danger, get ready
Yeah.
type of fear instead of like okay okay I have to get out of this situation right now type of
Right.
fear
Well, I have to get out of the
that are
situation right
phobias.
now is sort of a anxiety, I would call that.
Yeah, again, and like that's tied to phobias, at least for me, and I think for many people with phobias, actually, like if there are like any uh how to say it, any regular commenters on these podcasts on one of the platforms, then please interact with the video. Comment on it, like, if you have a phobia, if you also experience the anxiety with it, because I do.
Right. My main thing. It's interesting also how in Inside Out 2, anxiety looks like a mix between fear, joy, and anger. That was an interesting little. Huh?
Where do you see like the joy in the design?
The slight hues of yellow.
Ah, okay, so just the color. All right.
That and anxiety, often smiles and, even if uneasily.
Eh.
So it's sort of like anxiety's goal is to feel joy again,
Yeah.
is to
That's
plan
kind of true though.
plan for the future and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting thing. It's like sometimes we just have to accept that we are not in control fully, one of the greatest horror authors, H.P. Lovecraft, he kind of lays that out with his cosmic horror series with Cthulhu and everything. He's the Cthulhu and Eldritch beings are these gigantic, horrid monsters that view humans as nothing. They don't view us with. They don't even view us with contempt. We're even beneath their contempt. They just do whatever the hell they want, and we are utterly powerless to stop them. And it's sort of like, when you think about it, the universe is so vast, there could be a meteorite that is bigger than the Earth itself that would basically turn the Earth into a, basically bug on a windshield to this meteorite, and it could be hurtling through towards our solar system and brought to plow through it, and there would be nothing that we could do to stop it.
I'm actually unsure if things that big can be like, solid.
I mean,
because there's like, the law of like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the law of mass and like, that kind of things.
yeah.
It certainly would probably like, be spherical, like, that's because like, that's the least
Well, even if it's not
surface for the
big,
most volume that you can fit.
right?
But even like, and you don't see much spherical meteorites. Like, they're usually jagged.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm struggling to.
I mean, there are
what's the location?
exoplanets that are
Yeah,
close
but
to the
wait.
size of Jupiter, but yeah, they're stuck in an orbit, obviously.
No, that's like, again, like those are still gas giants. Those
Oh,
are still fucking gas. But what? Yeah,
I
but
thought they
I'm just
they were
searching
like
for the
super
what?
Earth planets that actually were solid.
Yeah, I'm searching. Wait, what's the biggest rocky planet? Okay, Kepler, planet Kepler, then C. Okay, okay, 70 times as much in the Earth in terms of mass. So that's still okay. Mass doesn't tell us much. I would rather
Let's see.
diameter. Okay, half of. Oh, okay. There is one other link that references a planet called BD plus 20 2059 for B, half the diameter of Neptune.
Well, I
Comes with
found
another
this.
rock.
I remember this cigar-shaped asteroid that was in orbit around. Let me put it in other pictures.
By the way, when we are at the like, topic of asteroids, Earth's actually gained a second moon temporarily. That is an asteroid.
Yeah, that is weird. We do have a second moon
It's
now.
orbiting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Earth
for a while.
second moon.
So enjoy. So we gotta enjoy that while it lasts because yeah, it's gonna leave again,
Ah.
which is sad, but you know.
Well, it's like for a moment we were like an alien planet that has two moons. You know?
It's just a planet with two moons, you know. And yeah.
Um, but at least we're not like, Tatooine and we have two suns.
Hmm.
Because that would be brutal.
Eh, you know, it depends on the distance and of course like the orbital period as well, the axiom tilt and everything.
Right. Or like Namek with three suns and no night.
Yeah, and like, you know, in a triple star system, yeah, like you know, getting yeah, that would be very rare.
Yeah. And how a species would be able to survive without sleeping or exist without sleeping, you know?
You can sleep during the day, you buffoon.
I suppose. I guess that's why they, have their ships always had those pods and everything, so they just kind of close themselves off to light completely.
Bruh, imagine
Yeah.
only like you know being able to sleep when it's dark. Tsuck tsuck tsuck.
Right.
I fell asleep several times with my ceiling light shining in my face.
Right.
Like you know,
I mean, if you're
anyways.
tired, yeah, you can sleep completely when there's light. You're just that tired, and your body's like, nope, we have enough we don't need melatonin at this point. We're done. We're just gonna sleep.
Mm.
But an interesting bit of Frieza in and of himself is a bit of cosmic horror because it's like if you live in Dragon Ball's universe, you have no idea if you've heard of Frieza, you're a galactic level civilization. You have no idea if Frieza is going to come in and just decide to either annex your planet, and if he does, what he does with it, or if he just decides to destroy it.
Hmm.
You know?
I mean, most likely you're part of like you know these like you know the empires anyway.
Yeah.
Just like yeah, because they be huge.
Like I said, um, if you're at that point where you're a galactic level civilization, and you've heard of, Frieza and the Frieza Force, you know, chances are good
And
he's
his
going to
brother
scroll up
and
in
his
your
dad.
neighborhood pretty soon, and he's going to say,
Hmm.
"Well, hello there. It is time that you are annexed and part of the Frieza Empire."
Yep.
And if one of your leaders is dumb enough to say "fuck you," it's like, oh god,
Mm.
right?
And I'm trying to remember did he state how many times have people said "fuck you" to him? I don't know. I don't remember.
You can probably count it on one hand.
Yeah. Then okay, that's not. I mean, like you know, like you know, we're gonna fuck your face. It's like you know that has been said 12 times, so
Right?
something.
Or
Anyways, yeah, still
well, that's
searching for
the other
the
thing is how many times
yeah.
could you say it to him and live? And that number is
Well,
12.
well, in the case of me,
Well, yeah, you could say it, but again, I'm talking like fully in canon. The number of times people have said that to Frieza and lived is precisely 0.
I
Unless you count Vegeta coming back to life as living.
mean,
I mean,
yeah,
that, that counts as living.
yeah.
Well, I guess that is.
He's alive, isn't he?
I guess that is one
I'm
way to
alive.
relieve the anxiety if you live in the Dragon Ball universe. If you know about the Dragon Balls, these wish-granting orbs
Mhm.
that can undo all the horridness.
Yeah.
But again, this is why I will say that King Piccolo was an effective villain because he was tied to the Dragon Balls, and on top of this, he destroyed them. he destroyed them and said, basically, fuck you, I'm going to make my rule permanent, and there will be nothing you can do about it. You know, that was, again, that was what made Piccolo an effective villain, and King Piccolo an effective villain in my estimates. But, I guess any other thoughts on fears and phobias, Nate?
I'm so busy, like, sort of searching for the how large a rocky planet can get.
Oh, you're still
I'm
searching
finding
for
some.
that?
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm finding, like, 10 Earth masses, but that's still like I I need diameters. I don't need mass. Mass is finicky, okay?
it is. But, I mean, I don't think there probably isn't anything that can get that massive physically. Um, like with actual solid mass, you're probably right in that regard, but I'm just saying that's based on what we know about the universe. For all we know, that could very well be the case. It could possibly be that laws of physics defy us and say, yes, there can be an object that can get that massive and keep moving. You know?
I mean, mm, mm, mm.
We don't know. That's the thing.
No. We do know because, like, that's like
Again, that's
that is just
as
precisely in
far as we
numbers.
know. As
But
far as we know.
I'm trying to think because, again, that, like, an object like, of that size would, like, just start accumulating gases, which, like, it's so.
It probably would
And
slow it
even
down.
if
But again, that's a sort of a
nah, it would not. It would not. Just, like, you just pulling out, like, into your fucking end. It would basically become like a stray gas giant.
maybe. Again, it's sort of like I said. The main point
If
I want to walk away with is whether it's possible or not for an object of that mass to be that big. The idea is that
It can be. Science is unpredictable. Sure,
yeah,
we may know enough to predict certain things, but science is ever changing, as well as our solar system, as well as
the entire universe.
it's. You can't just go, oh, that cannot be because of the. No, it's like it can be, maybe not in our lifetime, but within the next couple of them, it's possible. Like animals evolve due to their own environment. So why can't certain things evolve due to their own environment?
Yeah, there could be vast reaches of the universe that are so insanely vast and subject to different laws that we have no idea how big they could be. You know, again, what we view as the observable universe could be a very, very tiny fraction of it.
Well, because
I
like
mean, it is a tiny
several
fraction, but come on.
different types of planets that are suitable like Earth.
Yeah.
So it's like, so Nate, just admit that you don't know everything, and just it's okay to be wrong at times, or just go, you know what, that is outside my knowledge, and I'm willing to learn from this.
Yeah.
It's okay to admit you don't know something super well.
That and again, the main point I'm walking away with, in terms of like how it's a sort of a fear of lack of control is like I said, you know, if this object comes through our solar system and like I said is big enough to make Earth itself basically like a bug on a windshield, you know, that is something that is completely out of our control. You know, and it's that fear of lack of control that's the scary part about, you know, living in a universe where we still don't know everything and probably never ever will, you know?
I mean, that's a lot of people's fear is the unknown, which is why they try to get heavily into religion or even science because they want to feel as if they have some control of the unknown.
Yeah.
They can explain it away very quickly.
Yeah.
In fact, if you think about it, that's how a lot of mythology takes place, is because they're trying to explain what is the unknown.
Yeah.
And to feel better and secure within their own environment.
Yeah, this is, again, I guess going back to Odin right quick, is that in the Fat Brett's video breakdown on him, we went over the what Stonehenge is. And Stonehenge is more than just a monument. It actually served a purpose.
Right.
The whole point of it was that it was one gigantic celestial calendar. And the point of it's like you have to ask yourself, why would a Neolithic civilization spend all these resources just to build a giant celestial calendar? What was the point of that? And the point is to feel like they have some feeling of control over their environment, because it's like they live in this universe where, or this world where they are utterly subject to environmental forces. You know, they probably were people who came from a civilization that they're survivors who just got washed. Their entire civilization just got washed away by a tidal wave. And they're like, well, could that happen again? And they would like to know if it could. And they know, okay, this happened when these stars were in this position. Could it happen again if the stars were in this position again? And when are they going to move into this position again? You know? And so that's why they built Stonehenge and spent all the effort to make it. You know, because on top of this...
I mean, that's true for any civilizations besides Stonehenge. I mean,
yeah.
You have the Aztec and Mayan calendars and whatnot.
Right, but again, the amount of man hours spent into making it, again, you have to...
Right, but that's not the only one of significance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're beating a dead horse. You've said this countless times.
Well, again, I get what you're saying. The main point is, like, really think about how many man hours went into these different celestial calendars. But we'll just take Stonehenge as an example.
Right, but again, you're beating a dead horse here.
Right.
Again, because you're so rabid on your video games and mythology of it that you run through it, and I'm sure we all remember each time you've said something about it.
Okay, but what's the point you're making here?
Move on.
Okay. Well, to have one more point on this, like I said, the amount of man hours, like, again, you have to have several hundred people carving these stones, you know, and then what they actually figured out how they did it was that they basically dug earth underneath them, and the earth would basically lift the stones into place. And then they had to remove the dirt, and then hope that the stones stayed in place. You know?
I mean, it's like the obelisk in Egypt. They did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They put in dirt to help elevate it.
Yeah.
And then remove it once it was put in place.
Yeah. But again, just like I said, that's hundreds of people working on this one thing for years and years.
Right,
you know?
like the pyramids of Egypt, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You have this manpower building these great monuments.
And all for a singular purpose. Yeah, it's just crazy. And did Andy just join in? Or was that Kane? No, that was Kane. Kane, what are you doing here?
Damn, dude.
He just normally doesn't join these.
Kane, how dare you join? Shit.
You're just saying hi. Well, hi, Kane. Sorry if I came in hot. I was expecting Andy, and then here you are.
You're much welcomed in this discussion.
Indeed, you are. After all, you're a college student, and you do need to start learning. That's for sure.
He's the one that needs to learn. Jesus. Oh, it's just like the way you said it, like, how dare you, Kane, to just appear in my chat? It's like, well, geez, dude.
I know, I did say it.
Can you just say, "Oh, thanks for joining, Kane. Hi."
Well, I just wasn't expecting it.
And then when you find out it's not Andy, then you're like, "Oh, it's Kane."
You.
Ew.
I didn't mean to come across that way, Kane. I'm sorry.
Poor Kane.
Right.
I'm just existing.
Yeah. Anyways, we're actually just about to wrap this up because Morocco needs his walk. Um, but I guess yeah, that's I was more or less going over, how those sort of fears and anxieties can kind of just drive us to, in the case of our ancestors, build great monuments so that we can kind of have some idea of control and prediction over anything, Um, I guess that's my more or less closing thoughts on phobias is that, it's a combination of fear of what we don't know or fear of what could happen and our desire to have some level of control over it. Again, this is why I have thalassophobia because I have no idea what the hell is in the deep ocean. Or, you know, if I see this gigantic eye, I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna get eaten. you know? Um, well, those are more or less my closing thoughts. Nate, what are your closing thoughts on fear and anxiety and these phobias? Nate, you there? Nate, hello? Nate? Oh, you there? Nate? You okay? Nate, what's happening? Nate?
We went
Oh,
to the skinny.
I guess. Yeah, Nate just uh texted I think Nate's mic's down. Yeah, I think Nate's mic's down.
Is Kane still there?
Oh, voice chat. Let me see. I went no. Yes, I don't know. I'm trying to do research, but to kind of answer if an object that big would find wreck the solar system, but also Jupiter, massive guy, would also. Hi, Kane. What's this weird ass fish? Here is survival instinct. Here. Okay, yeah. Now I'm seeing all this, Nate. Is your mic okay? Yes. Okay. Don't know why you're going nonverbal, but I'll take it.
No. Who's gonna do the sign off then?
I guess I will. um, should I do the sign off, Nate, or are you still typing? It looks like Nate's still typing, so we'll see. I guess wait for Nate to type. I'm seeing the tag now. So, Kane, we were having a discussion about phobias. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Um, I guess while we're waiting for Nate to finish typing, what is your biggest phobia? Um, Phobia means a fear. Like, what is your biggest fear? Kane, you're speaking out of a potato, my dude. Your mic is not good. Now, fear is still important for us. Yeah, it can be taken a bit too much and contributes to stress, which ain't good for your body. However, living oblivious to great war problems ain't healthy either. Little frights are enjoyable, but big ones not so much. Jumps there, scut through, give me looming fear about what is a nuclear war. Ha. Pretty much, yeah. Um, but I guess in lieu of Nate not being able to speak, I will close us out. Goodbye YouTube. Goodbye Odyssey. Goodbye Rumble, who we are apparently getting a greater audience from, and stream will be in about a little over an hour. We'll be doing Resident Evil 4. Okay. All right. Peace out, guys.